Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mike, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about how to invest in Pokemon in 2026. There's a lot of different ways to make money in Pokemon, but quite frankly, I feel like there's only a few that I like to stick to, and that's kind of what I'm going to talk about in this video. I should also start by mentioning that this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. These are just my thoughts on my investing strategy and how I think that you can make money with Pokemon in 2026. So rule number one is actually don't diversify. I know that kind of sounds crazy when people talk about investing. They usually will tell you to diversify your assets, but I personally like to only stick to a certain amount of sets and a certain amount of products. A lot of new Pokemon investors will fall into the trap of thinking that everything is going to appreciate in value, and therefore they will just go to their local Target and Walmart and buy anything with the Pokemon label on it. And while I'm definitely guilty of buying my fair share of collection boxes and certain dud products, I do think that now I generally tend to stick to only a handful of products, and those usually consist of booster boxes, booster bundles, ETBs, and UPCs. In general, I would stay away from loose packs. I don't touch those. I have sold loose packs that weren't weighed before just because they were in tins that I needed to get other packs out of the tins from. So there might be listings out there that are legitimately unweighed loose packs, but in general, most of the time people are going to weigh the packs, find out if there's hits in them, and then keep them for themselves and only sell the packs that don't have hits in them. So if you think you're going to buy loose packs and open them and pull some great card, you might have lower chances of that than if you were to buy a sealed product. And that kind of leads into talking about investing in singles and selling singles, and I would tend to stay away from that. If you're new to making money in Pokemon, I would stay away from singles because it's just a lot more complicated. But in the future, when you get more comfortable with the space, you can definitely make a lot of money in singles. It's just not something that I really focus on right now. The second rule I have for Pokemon investing is not to go too heavy. It's really easy to get excited and to see all of the potential money that can be made and go really heavy into an investment, whether it be Pokemon or stocks or something like that. But don't go too heavy. Always try to check yourself and try to bring yourself back down to earth and acknowledge the fact that this is very speculative, very risky, and this market could crash at any time. So for that reason, just don't invest too heavily. Try to, invest what you can, invest what you think is reasonable, but keep in mind that this is like super sketchy, and in 2-3 years from now, I could look back and say, man, I really wish I didn't buy all those things, or I could look back and be really grateful and wish I'd bought more. I have no idea, but always check yourself, always bring yourself back down to earth, and try and take a step out of the hype and reevaluate the situation as a whole, as unbiasedly as you can. Sometimes that can be hard because nostalgia takes over, and this is fun. It's a lot more fun looking at Pokemon cards than it is looking at the stock market, in my opinion. But I don't know, sometimes looking at the stock market can be pretty fun if you're having a green day, but you get what I mean. Rule number 3 is don't buy over MSRP if you can. Now, I've broken this rule so many times. I got a handful of booster boxes. I think I got like 13 Destined Rivals booster boxes or something like that for like $275 each. So that was well over MSRP, basically $100 or more over MSRP, but that turned out as of now to be the right choice, the right decision. So you can buy over MSRP, but in general, if you want to be really safe, if you get something for shelf price and then you resell it, there's a good chance that you can at least get shelf price back, even if the market isn't doing so hot. And that's one of the reasons, again, why I like sealed product over open stuff, is because you're selling just the sealed product. You're selling not only the cards inside it, but you're also selling the experience. You're selling everything, and the fact that it's not been tampered with, you can kind of just take that sticker price and be like, hey, this is what it was, this is what I'm selling it for, bam. Whereas when it comes to singles and cards that are open, it's really just like the market is dictated by how much people want it and all kinds of stuff. There's not really a set sticker price for a single card. Rule number 4, and this is pretty boring and obvious, but don't invest more than you're willing to lose. Only invest what you're willing to lose. Do not take your entire life savings and think that you're going to double it overnight, because all of a sudden you could cut that in half. and then you're shit out of luck. Which leads me into rule number 5, which is remember liquidity. Keep in mind the fact that you have to sell all these things, and it might not be as easy as just clicking a few buttons on your stock trading app. And to sell your products, it's actually going to cost you money, whether that be going and paying for a vendor table in person or paying for eBay shipping, packaging, and all that stuff, and then the fees that eBay takes on top of that. So just keep in mind that, like, it's not all profit. There is work that you have to do, and there's also going to be expenses on the back end to sell your products. The 6th kind of rule I have for myself for investing is I try to keep my ear close to the ground. I try to always see what's around the corner, listen to TCG radio or Pokebeard or things like that for news and market updates and things like that, because it'll keep you ahead of the curve, and it'll help you know what you want to do with your money. So it's always good to stay alert and try and listen to the newest Pokemon news and hear what's happening when it comes to new drops and reprints. I believe I'm on number 7-ish now, but the kind of rule number 7 that I have for myself is don't listen to too many people. It's very easy to get influenced by a lot of people talking in the space, but I feel like the best thing to do is to try and listen to as many of those people in the space as possible, and then come to your own conclusion. And also a little bit of that is also trusting your gut, and sometimes your gut will tell you the opposite of what the conclusion is. So when that happens, I try to hedge my bets. Maybe I'll buy one of something rather than going really heavy into it. But yeah, in general, I try to come up with my own conclusion on these things, because it's all insanely speculative. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Nobody knows when a reprint's going to come. Yeah, when a certain Pokemon might jump up in popularity for whatever reason. I mean, you never know what could happen. So just make your own decisions, come to your own conclusions, and then you can only kick yourself. You don't have to blame other people for your misfortune. So those are some of my tips or rules, if you will, for making money with Pokemon in 2026. Let me know what your thoughts are on these tips and rules. Let me know if you have any rules or if there's anything that I missed that you think is important. Keep in mind, this is all super speculative, and if you don't really care about Pokemon that much, I feel like there's a lot of different ways to make money. So I would say if you're not super into Pokemon and you don't care about the research, you don't enjoy looking up cards and sets and following the news, then I would say maybe look at making money in other spaces. The best place to invest, in my opinion, as cheesy as it sounds, is in yourself. Learn a new trade, learn a new skill, and there's plenty of ways to make money. So these are just some of my tips and rules to make money in Pokemon in 2026. But I'm curious to hear, what are some other ways that you might be making money in 2026? I'm always looking for the next side hustle. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching my video. I really appreciate you making it to the end. I hope you have a very fruitful 2026, and I will see you in the next video. Love you. Bye.